Shalom YouTube. Hey guys, welcome back to OTH. Today just taking a little walk through our forest here, and I had a couple thoughts that I wanted to share. Hopefully they'll mean something to someone out there. I guess we'll put it that way. So last night we took out some good friends of ours, and I was sharing a story with them, and I thought that it might benefit someone else out there as well. So anyways, in this story, I was sharing how, here recently, since I've moved to the Ozarks anyways, I was talking to someone, and somehow we were kind of talking about, like, you know, Western expansion or something like that, something along those lines. And in the conversation, we came to the part that we were talking about Lewis and Clark in Sacagawea, and some of you just went, what did he say? And yes, you know, foreshadowing, whatever you want to call it, that is part of the purpose of this little chat that we're having here. So anyways, we're talking about it, and I say Sacagawea several times, and finally this gal looks at me and she says, honey, what are you saying? Are you meaning to say Sacajawea? I said, well, yeah, I think that's probably a fairly common mispronunciation of her name, but yeah, Sacajawea or Sacajawea. And, you know, that may not be exactly correct. You know, you would have to go back to the Wind River Indian Reservation in Wyoming and ask her people to tell you exactly how to say it. But I guarantee you, it's a whole heck of a lot closer than Sacagawea. So anyways, we're having this conversation, and this gal's just all up in my grill about this, and she's like, well now honey, everyone knows that it's Sacagawea. You know, I don't know where you're coming off with this thing. Whatever it is you're saying, you know, you ain't even close to being right. Everyone knows it's Sacagawea. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's, you know, basically what she was saying, and the heart of what she was saying. And so, you know, we continued this conversation on for a little bit, and after a while, you know, it became fairly evident that no matter what I said to this gal, she had already made up her mind that I was wrong and she was right, because everyone knows that, and it's common knowledge. Yeah, guys, since we've been on the journey that we are now, you know, it's kind of led us to the Ozarks and to, you know, reevaluating our faith, shall we say. One thing that has become abundantly clear to us is that just because you think something is a certain way, because that's the way you've always been taught, that's the way you've been brought up, or as the old saying goes, grown up, so to speak, to believe, it's not necessarily so. And, you know, we have to, you know, as intelligent human beings, we have to be willing to do the research and understand things from their proper order and perspective. You see, because it really doesn't matter per se how we're saying her name necessarily, as long as we all know who we're talking about, right? But there is a right way and a wrong way to say it, you know, from its root, right? From her people on the Wind River Indian Reservation, her people, how they would pronunciate her name is the correct way to say it. I think we could all agree on that. But anyways, getting back, you know, coming back full circle, coming back to this conversation, I'm talking to this gal, and like I said, it finally just, you know, became self-evident to me that no matter what I said, I was wrong and she was right. And so finally, I just literally, you know, went like this, you know, so she'd get the point, stop talking. And I said, you know what, I've got to go now, but I just wanted to leave one thing with you before I leave. And I said, you know, I grew up in Wyoming, and, you know, I had friends who were, you know, part of her tribe, and you know, while I may not be saying it 100% correctly, Sacagawea is a whole lot closer than Sacagawea. So I tell you what, the next time that I go back to Wyoming, like for, you know, maybe my 30-year class reunion or whatever, oops, I'm dating myself, But anyways, the next time I'm back, I'll be sure to stop by, you know, the reservation and tell her people that they've been saying her name wrong all this time. Well, as you can guess, I didn't go over very well, and then I was wrong again because now I was being mean-spirited. You know, not to mention the fact that, well, you know, she originally corrected me thinking that I was saying it wrong, you know, when I simply corrected her and said, no, I'm sorry, but that's not actually how you say it. You know, you got to go back to the root. And so hopefully some of you enjoyed that hopefully somewhat funny story, but also understand, guys, that the root, the perspective of the root, don't think about things in your life necessarily about the way that you have been taught to understand them. Get back to the root. What was the original intent of the reason why it was said, written, or why you were taught that? Because that is going to be a lot more accurate than the way that you have been taught to understand it in the society that we're living in today. Hopefully that was a blessing to some of you out there. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon. Shalom.